Hi, I'm Hillary Kennedy, and this is the U.S. Youth Soccer Show. It's May, and that means that it's warming up and soccer season is in full swing. Soccer's going on all over the U.S., and our cameras were all over the place, too. This month, we'll hear about a young man in Maryland who's overcome serious challenges to play the game that he loves. We'll head up to Chicago to feature a team in the Midwest that's making a name for themselves. And former EPL player Warren Barton is going to give us some training tips from the Skills Training Center in California. As always, we want to know what you want to see on the show. If you have a story idea about somebody that's making a difference in your soccer community, send an email to the show at usyouthsoccer.org, or you can post it on our Facebook page. All right, let's kick things off by heading out to South Carolina, where the largest traveling youth soccer tournament rolled in to have some fun.
We're hosting the Coles American Cup, and we have U9 through U12s. We have teams from Charleston to Greenville, from Rock Hill to Augusta, 162 teams altogether.
I think the kids really get a lot out of teamwork building, the competitive spirit that it really drives. And I mean, you can see all these families coming together. It really is it's just a great event, good opportunity for everybody to come out and enjoy each other.
It shows them things that they have to actually do as far as to, stay in shape, eat right and do what you need to do to be on time and, have your game stuff ready and going, and it gets them more organized.
The Red kids really enjoy the game. They need good coaching, good support, like any good player does, any competitive player. They deserve a good place to play, good location, parent support, coach support.
Well, I think they learn a great deal about teamwork and just the maturity and growth in the game and working together. I think that's really the best part of it.
A lot of self-esteem, a lot of self-worth, a lot of self-confidence, a lot of motivations. Motivation from their teammates, motivation from the parents. Good attitude, good respect, and good morals and values to have for the future.
The companionship and leadership with their friends and being able to work together, it's really gotten them close and, doing things together as far as being a team and making sure everybody's okay and, pumping them up when we're down and being excited when we're up and stuff like that.
I think just a pure enjoyment of teamwork, the team sport. They enjoy being with each other. It's a social event as well as it's an athletic event, and they just they love it. It's their day in the sun, so to speak, which is what this weekend's all about.
We want to see our kids come out and compete well, do it in the right way, in the right spirit, and hopefully have a great time doing it.
They'll look back and they'll remember how fun it was to play, the goal that they scored, the goal they helped set up, the fact that they just enjoyed the surrounding event. It was a beautiful day to be here, play on the park. And those are things you look back on and say, I just had a great time that day. I don't know whether I scored a goal or not, but we had fun. And all the friends that they played with, they'll talk about them for years.
Well, if you don't enjoy the game, they won't come back and play next year. And we want to continue to see the sport grow in this country. And it's just really been, a lot of fun to watch.
Everybody begins by playing the recreational game, and a few go on to play as elite-level athletes. For us, the summer is all about the National Championship Series, where the field of thousands is narrowed down to 14 national championship teams. This is where you write your history. This is where you become a champion.
This is where teams write their history.
This is where you show them who you are.
This is where you become more than a team. This is where you become a champion.
To get to that elite level, you have to start with the basics. Our cameras went out to California, where former EPL player Warren Barton took some time out at the Skills Training Center to give you a few pointers.
And when we're talking about ball control, for me, the first and most important is actually the first touch of the ball. Where you're going to pass the ball, where you're going to receive the ball. But if you can't control the ball first with your first touch, as you receive a ball, for me, the biggest aspect of the game is to pass the ball into an area, but control the ball with your first touch. As the ball is coming towards you, is to be confident you're in control of the ball as the ball is coming to you. So your first touch for me is vital. When you address the ball, receive it with a soft open foot. The open foot is the biggest part of a soft area where it can be cushioned. That's what you're trying to do with your first touch, is cushion the ball into an area where then you can maybe either dribble with the ball or address the ball with a pass. Again, with the first touch, is to cushion the ball. Cushioning means when you receive the ball to have a soft touch. Your first touch is most important. As it comes into your body, open your body up. Again, use the inside of your foot, because that is the biggest area for you to cushion the ball. Pushing the ball, if you're right-footed, you want to cushion it to the right side of your body, which allows you to pass the ball short or long, or sometimes in a game, you can actually shoot the ball. So if you have that first touch to cushion into an area where you're in control of the ball, not the ball controlling you, then you have the opportunity to pass or shoot the ball with your first touch.
Are you a business that wants an easy way to promote your products and services to the youth soccer community? Well, you should check out US Youth Soccer's recently launched Marketplace website, where players, parents, and coaches can browse for companies that offer all kinds of soccer goods. Just visit marketplace.usyouthsoccer.org for more details. Okay, it's time now to check in with former men's national team player Eric Wynalda and Fox Soccer analyst Rob Stone in the Fox Soccer studio, where they're answering your questions from the US Youth Soccer Facebook page. Take it away, boys.
Hey kids, Rob Stone here with former U.S. men's national team striker and National Soccer Hall of Famer Eric Wynalda, coming away from the Fox Soccer studio. We're ready to answer more of your questions about the game we all love. You got one?
Yep. Hold on a second. Caitlin from Louisiana wants to know why you think kids should play soccer.
Sportsmanship, fitness, confidence, but the biggest thing for me, and I have this debate with my wife all the time, is team play, team interaction. I've never been an individual sports guy. I think it's so important to learn about yourself and learn about your teammates, how you interact with others, how you support others, not just yourself. I'm all about being the team and not kind of being that personal guy. I have so many team memories through my years playing soccer, and that's what I cherish so much from the sport. Mackenzie from Washington would like to know, who has been your greatest influence in soccer?
So many coaches and so many players, so many friends, but it's my dad. My dad always was a great influence because he let me be me. And he didn't try too hard to overdo it. He wasn't that screaming guy on the sidelines. And I always remember we'd get in the car, and we'd be driving home, and he'd say the same thing just about every time. Ice cream or orange juice? And I'd say, ice cream, and he'd say, you're getting orange juice, which meant I did something wrong, but still, there was a message behind all that.
If you said orange juice, would he say ice cream?
I don't know, but I never
said it?
A lot of orange juice. That's how that works.
A lot of vitamin C running through the household. Until next time, get all the latest soccer news at foxsoccer.com or find us on Twitter at Fox Soccer and on Facebook.
And tune in to the next episode of US Youth Soccer Show on Fox Soccer. We're going to answer more of your questions.
Thanks, guys. If you have any questions that you want to ask the boys, post them to our Facebook page or send us an email to the show at usyouthsoccer.org. And speaking of social media, we are blowing it up. We are always giving away free stuff, posting action shots, and more. So make sure you like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram for great photos, and on Twitter for the latest news and more. Well, it's time now for a break. When we return, we'll hear about a young man in Maryland that doesn't know the meaning of give up. Get another training tip from the Skills Center and hear about Raiders FC, a team out of Chicago overcoming the odds to make it back to the national championships. All this and more when we return to the US Youth Soccer Show. Hi, and welcome back to the US Youth Soccer Show. Before we left, I told you about a young man who doesn't know the meaning of quit. We first heard about Mason Stewart and his passion for soccer from one of our viewers. She wrote to us to tell us the story of a 9-year-old boy whose heart far outweighs the challenges he faces every day.
Mason is your quintessential 10-year-old boy, full of energy, full of excitement, wants to run, wants to get involved, wants to touch things, but very active, high energy, just typical boy.
We found out when we were about 20 weeks pregnant that Mason would be born with bilateral club feet. And what it basically means is that his feet would turn in and sometimes up and almost wrap around the ankle to some extent, and bend in ways that our foot wouldn't bend, which would require a lot of treatment to be able to actually walk normally.
Honestly, first was a lot of questions. I didn't know a lot about it. And then I think, like naturally, like most parents, is a great deal of concern, great deal of just wondering, okay, what does that actually mean? What does that mean for my son? Will he be able to run? Will he be able to play sports? Will he be able to do all the things that I did as a kid? Everything you can imagine, I think, runs through your head.
Within moments of Mason's birth, both legs were put in full-length casts that would attempt to keep his feet in a straight position. When he was out of the cast, he was in a brace that would keep his feet held apart in a firm position, hoping to train the muscles and the tendons to go in the right way. He was almost 3 years old before he was able to go a day without either having his feet in casts or in some type of braces. But it never seemed to stop him. I remember him climbing up the stairs in our house, like pulling his braces, like just one knee at a time, shimmying up, and trying to climb out of his crib, but having to throw both legs over at the same time in order to climb out of his crib because they were connected by a brace. I guess, in a way, it made him stronger. When Mason's big sister was 5, we enrolled her in a soccer league. We hadn't really thought about Mason playing soccer at that point, but the moment we hit the soccer field, he wouldn't be kept from it. Luckily, we had a pretty flexible coach, and he didn't mind that Mason threw on an extra uniform and would run up and down the field with the 5-year-olds. And I guess Mason just didn't want his sister doing anything that he couldn't do better. The year after that, when he was 5, he insisted on playing the season with full-legged walking casts. We tried to keep him limited to the goalie position, but he wouldn't stay. He'd be running all over the field in his walking casts, and to be honest, I think he had probably a real advantage over a lot of the other players because they didn't need to wear shin guards and he didn't need to wear cleats. He just went. He wasn't going to let us say you have to sit on the sidelines and you can't play soccer because you have casts on your feet. He made it a point to say, I can, and I will. And really, you can't stop me. So when it rained, we'd put plastic bags over his feet and hold them up so the cast wouldn't get soaking wet. And he didn't even get tired. He just kept going.
I'm Mason and I'm 9. I like soccer because it lets you get outside and have fun. And I really like to move around and just enjoy myself.
We've realized that all the casting and all the braces hadn't had the desired effect. So our surgeon said it was time to actually do major tendon surgery. So it was the summer before his first grade year that he had the surgery. It took 6 weeks before he was able to put his feet back on the ground. A lot of pain the first couple weeks. After about 8 weeks, they finally took his cast off from the surgery and said he could start trying to walk, but what we hadn't anticipated and should have was that after 8 weeks of not being able to walk and sitting there, his muscles would atrophy. And that, combined with the fact that his feet were in the tendons in his feet were in completely different positions, meant that he couldn't even walk at all. He couldn't stand. It took probably another 3 to 4 weeks of intense physical therapy before he could put any weight on his feet. And it wasn't until November when he could actually take his first step. And believe me, that first step he took was absolutely amazing after so many months of not even being able to stand.
From the very first time I met Mason in physical therapy, he stated, I want to play soccer again. I want to be the fastest guy on the field again. And so I was able to use that in rehabilitation to get him to do the things that he needed and wanted to do, but in such a way that the goal and the carrot was always getting back to soccer.
What I think is amazing really is more of his dedication. I don't know how many kids would be as dedicated as he's been to playing soccer and to really giving, to being able to do this. I'm still amazed when I think about what he's gone through and over the last few years and to where he is now. To me, when I think back, could I have done it? I don't know. It's amazing to me to see what he's gone through and where he is now. It's just phenomenal to me.
The next soccer season, Mason said, I'm ready to play soccer. And we said, but you can't. You just recently came out of your wheelchair. You can't even really walk and run the way you did before the surgery. And he said, I don't care. I want to play on the field. And we looked at each other and said, well, I mean, what's it hurt, right? So he was back on the field that spring, the spring after his surgery. And he hasn't stopped playing soccer since.
I can tell you I'm incredibly proud to see Mason overcome these odds. What he's gone through, where he is now, and really where I think he can still go. His story is still continuing, and that to me is what's exciting. Every day he continues to amaze me with his willingness to participate, to drive. He loves to practice. That amazes me. I know a lot of people love to be in the game. He shares that same passion and energy just to come to practice. It's amazing where he is today.
Thank you, Mason, for sharing your story. If you know a story that needs to be told, we want to tell it. Send us an email at theshow@ususoccer.org. Now let's head back out to the Skills Training Center where Warren Barton is standing by with another training tip.
When we're emphasising about controlling the ball, we've spoken about the body mechanism, how to have the contact of the ball, first touch. Now we're going to say about your body angle, your body shape as it addresses the ball, but more your angle. If you're leaning back when the ball is addressed to you, the chances are you're going to miscontrol it. Again, going away from your first touch. So again, as the ball is being addressed towards you, again, your head should be focused on the ball. Nothing else, not the players, not the goal, focus on the ball. As the ball is coming into you, your first touch, so your body angle has to be strong. You want to be in line with the ball as the ball is coming to you. If you're out of line, again, the chances of the ball is drifting past you. So when the ball receiving it with your first touch, is have your body angle in line. Once you have that good first touch, to pass the ball, again, if we're looking to maybe hit the ball a little bit higher, we might have to lean back slightly. But again, being composed from head, waist, feet, very strong in your aspect of controlling the ball. First touch is vital, but also the angle of your body. If I'm going to pass the ball on the right side, I need to open my body up so I can pass the ball with my right foot. If I'm going on the left side, again, you have to address your body, the angle of your body. Open your body up, control it with your first touch, then you have options to pass the ball. I think when we're talking, particularly with young players, first touch, but also the angle of the body. Where are they going to pass the ball? Where do they need to maybe shoot the ball to open their body up and have that right angle to address the ball?
Calling all soccer players who want it all. There's a new website and it's just for you. The USU Soccer Clubhouse is where it's at. The Clubhouse is a kids membership website where entertainment meets soccer. There are all kinds of videos, including interviews with soccer superstars like Clint Dempsey.
I did everything. I did club thing, I did the high school thing, I did the...
There's photos from recent prestigious tournaments. There are music videos from the top artists on the radio. There's even 20+ soccer-related games you can play online for free. One of my favorite features of the Clubhouse is that the second that you sign up, you're entered to win prizes like an all-expense-paid trip to see Justin Bieber live in concert. And that's just this season. And parents, you could also win prizes and automatically receive coupons for nationwide retailers. And have you ever tried doing the car wash thing or selling wrapping paper to raise money for your team? Well, the Clubhouse can also be used as a fundraiser. All you have to do is sell membership cards like this, and you get to keep half of the profit. So who wouldn't want to join? Just go to ususoccer.org/clubhouse to find out more. There's a team out of Chicago who just missed the opportunity to hoist the national championship trophy last year, but has already claimed a spot for this summer's championships. And our cameras were out in Chicago to find out more about Raiders FC.
There's, over the course of a training session, you'll see them laugh and enjoy themselves, but when it's down to business, they're working hard, they're making, the runs they need to make, the sprinting they need to do, their touches, they take pride in little things like that, everything from our goalkeepers all the way to our strikers. They're hungry and they want to do the little things right. My name is Minos Vamakis, head coach of Raiders FC U18 Premier and assistant coach of UIC. The big thing for us was last year we finished second in the National League. I think the silver lining in all that is that's our motivation right now. Every single game we've played since, all we think about is that. There isn't a day that goes by where we don't talk about it. They're hungry and they want to do little things right. They really bought into the sort of discipline, the mentality of getting better with each training session, whether it's a recovery training session or a week away from a big match type of training session where we're really pushing them. They're a spirited group. I think that's where the blessing in disguise is from how our season ended last year, just coming up one game short, because now it's almost an insatiable hunger that they have, and it won't go away until we're lifting a trophy at the end of the season, and that's what our aim is. They've had success before in previous seasons, but this was the first time they've ever won regionals. It was the first time they've ever played for a national championship. So I think in a way, getting to that point was a big learning experience for us. The training regimen is still the same. We're incorporating a lot more strength and conditioning because we have one eye on their collegiate careers that are going to start. With this group, we've got 25 guys rostered, 24 of them are playing college soccer. It's about as unique of a team as I've ever come across in my 10 years of coaching between men's and college soccer and youth soccer. The truth is you come across a lot of kids that are 18 going into college that are talented, but to have the mental aspect already locked down, to understand what they need to improve on physically and technically, it's pretty rare for kids to be mature enough to realize all that stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if we were watching some of these kids on TV 3-4 years down the road. The president of our club is a gentleman named Alex Snitchoff. He definitely helps out from a financial point of view in terms of setting up fundraising events to pay for the things that come with operating a youth team that's as successful as ours is. Alex really brought these guys under their wing when they were 14 years old, saw that there was something special there. Pretty unique bunch. We have Nigerians, we have first-generation Americans, we've got fourth, fifth-generation Americans, we've got kids who've come from Mexico. So it's really representative of how the city of Chicago is. Very diverse, people from a lot of different cultures, but when it comes down to putting on the same uniform, they're all one group. It's not about nationality or culture, religion, any of that. Soccer for Raiders FC is all that matters to them.
Well, that's our show for this month. Keep the ideas rolling, and thanks again for watching. If you have a story that you want to see on the show, send us an email at theshow@ususoccer.org. To watch this and previous shows for free, be sure to check out our YouTube page at youtube.com/ususoccer. I'm Hillary Kennedy, and until next time, get out and get in the game.